So we've been, as we have rearranged the podcast studio, we're now trying to get the lighting next level.
We're testing out some new lighting today, so it either might be perfect or it could be really bright, but we're just trying to find the perfect medium, and we just want to play around with it. And it's also pretty dark outside right now.
Yeah, the past two podcasts we've done,
oh, no,
the natural light hasn't.
The last one, this might be another crazy podcast.
Yeah, because it's late at night. But I think the actual lighting is looking better from what I see. We can't see it till we edit it, but we just like to fill you in on all the things that we're changing and growing. So we like to watch it and see what do we need. And I want to be a little more bright, so this extra lighting might help on both sides.
Hopefully this is it. Or we're completely washed out. But
I don't think so. So I think we'll be good. But anyway.
Welcome, guys.
What a day we have had.
What a day.
What day is it?
Today is Saturday.
October 34th?
December 1st. Christmas.
It's Christmas. It'll be here before we know it.
I know.
Time is flying. July 1st is next week already.
My birthday month.
And your birthday.
Leo
we have to figure
season.
out what to do for your birthday. Well, let's get into it. We'll do the intro and everything. This way we can hop right in so we can chit-chat about a bunch of things. Welcome, everyone, to the Freddie and Alyssa Show. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. We've been putting out videos for a couple years now, so you can scroll around our page and check it out. And below, just as of last week, we launched 2 of our official T-shirts for the Freddie and Alyssa Show. Great material, a black and a white one with different kind of lettering. You can check it out below. And we've been rocking them out. It feels really good. And we're going to continue to evolve the merchandise line. So we're just taking it a day at a time, making sure we get you the best quality ever. And today's episode is brought to you by Reset, R3 Set. And it's a natural stress support. I have been taking it now, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, for the past 5 or 6 days. And I'd like to read from the box so that I get it correct. It's caffeine-free, melatonin-free, sourced from natural ingredients, vegan, GMO-free, and it's made right here in the USA. It's known to ease stress, calm the nervous system, and stimulate the body's natural defenses, so it has immune support. And they're really great. The morning one is calm, and the night one is unwind. And I think, just in life in general, it's nice to have some stress relief. And I think if you couple everything together, taking your vitamins, working out, eating healthy, this is such a great complement to everything that you're doing to keep your mind sharp and to feel good, keep your immunity up, and just ease that stress. And you can go to their website at r3set.com and use no stress FA at checkout for a 10% discount, or you can also go to target.com and get it there as well. But yeah, thank you, Reset. Well, welcome to the family. We appreciate your support and your natural stress support.
Yes. Just what we all need.
Yeah, that's what we all need. But they've been really great to us, and I've really been enjoying it, especially the nighttime one. You can taste the lavender mint as it goes down, and it's super, super awesome. So thank you so much. And so here we are, a Saturday evening, and we just wanted to talk.
Oh, shocker.
A big shocker.
You want to talk, babe? No way. Okay, so no. We were walking outside with Benji, and we like to do pretty late night stroll. I mean, not late night, but 7:30? And I was like, yeah, let's go home, make a little dinner. I'm going to take a bubble bath. And you're like, wait, no, we got a podcast.
We got a podcast.
And I'm like, okay, let me just take my 4-day-old unwashed hair and throw it on up.
No one can tell.
I can tell.
We have this debate every time of, I got to put on makeup, I got to get my hair, I got to get dressed.
But I can tell, and that's,
But no one can tell.
But I want to bring it for the people, I'm a Leo, baby.
I just throw a beanie on and call it a day.
Well, we can't all be Fred Smith. If I put a beanie on. Those are the one type of hat I just could never rock. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah, it works for me.
It does.
But sunglasses don't work for me, and sunglasses work for you. Just all depends on your personality and how it fits your swag as a person.
Because you never wear sunglasses.
No.
But I will tell you the reason I'm so big on sunglasses, I have lighter eyes and they're really sensitive to the sun. So even when we go out at 7 p.m., I'm like, I need my glasses. It's so bright out.
So they actually are a necessity. I think a lot of people use them for fashion or this cool vibe.
Yeah.
And I have just always thought of myself, if anyone sees me in sunglasses, it's going to look like, who is this guy? Who do you think you are with your sunglasses? It's less of a humble statement for me.
Depends what kind of sunglasses you're wearing.
I'd have to wear ones that have like, I don't know.
Maybe we'll work on this.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't need them. I've never worn them, so
If you don't need them,
to me, it feels funny to put them on.
I remember when we were shooting Addicts Anonymous, like what was that, 2013?
Mm-hmm.
There was one scene where you had on these, when we were doing the boot camp episode. And
Yeah.
You had these like green sports
Like Oakleys.
glasses. Oakleys, dude. They're so funny.
Well, it's a personality. It's a persona.
100%.
What you wear creates that persona.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about putting on a suit that feels different than a baggy sweatshirt or a sunglasses or no sunglasses or what type of sunglasses, especially for acting. When you have a character like how I played Gary Goldberg in that web series, there was something about his wardrobe, his hair, and glasses that made me feel more like that character. So it goes a long way.
So crazy. I saw too, Joni tagged us in a bunch of different pictures, and we shot that like 6 years ago around this time.
7 years.
Really?
2013.
Oh, math.
Yeah. No, we've been creating content for a very long time, and I think you need to do that. Mm-hmm. Practice makes perfect, and putting it into 10,000 hours to become an expert at something.
Yeah.
I really think that's the disconnect for some people who are struggling. You really have to put in the years and years and years, and there's no overnight success. Mm-hmm. It always takes many, many hours. And I'm feeling really good. I had a great conversation with Mio today, our best friend Mio, and he's rocking it out in Ohio right now. And we catch up, I'd say maybe once a month, and we have a really nice conversation. And it's amazing just the world that we're living in today, because there's so many unknowns. We were talking about the extension of unemployment, if that's going to happen, and now that cases are kind of going up, what that means for the industry and just for the industry in general, because he's a server. And he was telling me how it's just not the same anymore.
How so?
He goes, well, at the beginning, people were tipping because they kind of felt bad because people were off of work. But now people are going, and it's kind of going back to normal. And
they're not tipping?
No, it's like the same. Like even when I was a server, you would average about 15% when it's all said and done, because there were so many people who wouldn't tip or would tip 5 or 10%. And then there were people who tipped 30, and it would all equal out. But they have these new little like computers that are on the tables, and that's so everyone's paying with that, so he doesn't have to touch the credit card.
Oh, Chili's used to have one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it took a while for people to get used to it, but now they're used to it. And then it made me ask him, I go, well, at what point is a server just going to become obsolete then? Because if you can just click, we're so used to buying on Amazon. How hard is it to say, I want spaghetti and meatballs, light sauce, breadsticks, salad? Why does someone need to come? Why can't someone just bring the food? So I said, at what point is all these jobs are just going away?
Well, and what's crazy too is before everything had happened, and we were all under a stay-at-home order, I used to always think, man, it'd be so nice to get groceries delivered because it would just free up so much time for us. But for some reason, that extra step of finding an app and figuring out how to do it, and then when do I let them in and how do they drop it off, it was just so many like hurdles I didn't want to deal with. Then we had the stay-at-home order, and I really had all the time to research it, and it was not hard. And now it's second nature. I have my list saved. It's so easy to do. And now I'm thinking, even when things, way down the road are back to normal or a new normal, I probably won't go to the grocery store because it's freed up so much time and it's so easy and convenient.
Yeah.
And right now, convenience is everything. Just as everything's evolving and our time literally is everything.
Well, we're viewing our time differently.
Yes.
For some reason, our time, because of social media, I don't really know what it is, but I feel everyone's time has become more valuable. Mm-hmm. So when you think about how many times you go to the grocery store and how long that takes, when you park, when you drive, when you have to go deal with the energies of the world, wait in line, be just around the hustle and bustle of it all, then come home, put it in the elevator, hold the elevator door. Think about what we had to do. Yeah. It's probably easier with a house. But in general, it's about an hour and a half round trip. And if you do that 3 times a week and you start adding that up over the next couple of years, you could save yourself. And someone like Amazon, they discount all the prices because they just run stuff, and it's free delivery. So even though we tip 20%, that is made up in the lower prices. So we're essentially just saving an hour and a half every time we do it, and we can spend that hour and a half learning, reading, putting up a podcast, relaxing, whatever you think you need. But it made me realize, even going to, Blockbuster, I think Mia was saying too, he's like, now you just rent it on your TV.
In 2 seconds.
But I think going to Blockbuster, because our time wasn't as valuable, or we didn't use our time as wisely, because we didn't have quick, where now everything feels long. That was an experience.
You were excited to
Going
go do
to
it.
look around was something to do.
Yeah.
People are always looking for something to do. I'm bored. What do you want to do? There's no shortage of ways to fill your time.
Stimulation, yeah. Well, it's crazy too, because even if you think back to 9-to-5s and when they really became traditional and popular, if you will, it worked because there was no internet, there was no social media, and you truly would go to work, you clock in, you clock out, and you go home and you're completely done. You literally cannot be bombarded with work. The work stays there. And then as time progressed, and like even when I was working a 9-to-5 many years ago, it was something that as soon as I would get home, I was like, okay, but I still have stuff to do. And I kind of am on Twitter, and I would get emails all the time from my boss. And so it'd be 10 p.m. at night, and I'm getting this like crazy email, and I'm just like, I could never truly disconnect. And that's what originally made me so interested in, being my own boss, if you will, because I was just like, I can't, it's crazy. But we thought that way because of social media and the internet.
Yeah, everything needs to be faster, and everything is faster.
Yeah.
Uber is faster.
Yeah.
I remember back when I never really took taxis, but for some reason there wasn't an Uber, or for whatever reason back when you were in the hospital recovering for those 3 months in 2014, I would call for a taxi at the hospital, and I'd have to call the dispatcher. And it would take 20, 25 minutes for them to call someone in the area. And then I had to make sure I had cash, I believe. And then you have to deal with all of that. But these little things like Uber, boom, 3 minutes, boom, you're in, boom, just get out, tip on the phone, moving on. It's quick.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, I reposted this article. I didn't actually read the article. I just read the Instagram post of Forbes. And they were saying that a lot of companies are now allowing their employees to choose if they want to continue to stay working from home or if they want to go back to the office. So there are people like your dad, when we talked to him about it, he enjoys the meetings in person. Now, I don't know if that's just a personality thing, if it's a generational thing, if it's an individual thing, if it's a case-by-case basis. I am on the absolute, I value my time so much that I don't want to set up and go anywhere if it can be done online.
Yeah.
Because people say, oh, you can't connect through a Zoom. It was just weird.
Yeah.
Now you can connect.
But we're also so used to it. And it's also interesting that we're millennials, so we truly were the first generation to have both. Like, we had the old school lifestyle of no internet and truly living in the moment. And then as we were, in our teens, I'd say, that's when we really had internet and like MySpace, and you
late teens
download music and be on AOL Instant Messenger and chat rooms and email, and you're connecting with your friends. And like even having something like a beeper, it wasn't too evasive. It was just enough of like, I remember my friends and I would text each other or beep each other codes before sleep, went like 143, I love you. Like just silly stuff, but it's not sitting there having a full-blown conversation being readily available to anyone.
But AOL and ICQ and beepers and all of that was communication between you and a friend. It wasn't perusing. You weren't on AOL looking at a bunch of people you follow. You were on AOL to talk to friends. So you were plugged into that, and it was kind of, after I do my homework and after I go play soccer, I'm home, I showered. I'm going to hop on AOL real quick.
Yeah.
You were still hopping on something.
And then
now, as soon as you wake up, you're plugged into it, and you're always aware of what's happening. But to finish my point real quick, too, on the working from home, I'm a huge proponent of that. And I love it for an employer to kind of give the option of whatever people want to do. I still feel that as it continues to evolve, it'll all move home.
Yeah.
Especially when these technologies get better and better and better, and which they are already incredible. But if you think about the hour commute home, going to the grocery store, having to go to the bank, all of that stuff, even with stamps.com, like you don't really have to do anything. And it's not about laziness. It's about look at your life now. Monday through Friday, that hour commute there, hour commute back, you get that back. You're now getting 10 hours back. No grocery shopping. You're getting those 3 hours back for the week. Before you know it, you have an extra 15, 20 hours that you now have to do anything.
Yeah.
To watch TV, to be with your kids, to start a business. And then as soon as Tesla and all these self-driving cars become a thing, it's going to be weird that we had to waste an hour of our time driving when then you can just hop into a pod or a Tesla and it just drives you to work and you can be in the back seat watching something, talking to your family, like getting things done. Yeah. So we're getting more and more time by this working from home.
During our lifetime, we're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happen that we can imagine. But I also think it's really crazy that we are the only generation who's ever had no technology and technology. Because everyone now, even Gen Z, they had technology growing up.
We got the dose of both.
Yeah.
Like we were the hybrid, born 85 to 95 hybrid.
Yeah.
Of with both of those. But yeah, it's all going to change. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of jobs that are going to be lost through automation. A lot more will be created.
Yeah, that's true.
But
too.
I'm also just trying to figure out why. I just feel corporations are going to continue to do so, because the more I was looking at savings accounts for online banking, which I for some reason didn't fully trust. I know you don't really fully trust it, but I think it's backed by the FDIC. So you have to double check that. But they're great. They're companies. But there's online banks that if you have a savings account, they will give you 1.5% interest on your savings account. Where if you go to Bank of America or Wells Fargo or any of these big branches, you get like 0.02%. It's almost pointless.
Yeah.
But the reason that you get charged your $18 a month checking account fees and all this other stuff is there's a Bank of America on every corner. What is that overhead on rent for the whole corporation? Plus all the people who are working in the banks, plus the people who have to clean it, people who have to do the parking lot, all the maintenance. If you take all that away and just do an online bank, they charge you no fees, and you can get 1.5% interest on your money because they're saving billions of dollars by not having actual places. Yeah. And realistically, we never go to the bank anymore. No. You take pictures of your checks. Everything's direct deposit. That for SAG-AFTRA, they did like a beta thing for a while. Now it's fully working.
Really?
So all residuals from here on out, no more checks in the mail. Now I just get an email that it's direct deposit.
Wow, that's how it should be.
So there's no reason to go to the bank. Wow. But all these companies, and the other thing is they're starting these cloud kitchens. Have you heard of this?
No.
This is big. There's Alyssa's Cupcakes, Benji's Bones, and Freddie's French Fries. And we all three decide to go and get a 400 square foot building, get all industrial cooking, and get all of this stuff. We share all the ingredients, and you have your brand, Benji has his brand, I have my brand. There's nowhere to come in and dine, and you hook up Grubhub, Uber Eats, and Postmates to it. You advertise so that it pops up and all that stuff, and you just do delivery, but we share the rent, we share the kitchen, we share the ingredients, so our costs are down, which creates a lower price for the customer, and there's no overhead. Think of the overhead that Domino's Pizza or Olive Gardens have based on how many restaurants and all the rent and the overhead. And then all these businesses are, JCPenney's in my hometown was the last store in my mall. There's like nothing left. If you want to see a scary ghost town, our Ashtabula Mall, there's nothing in it. JCPenney's is gone. And now it's just going to start being these big warehouses where companies are going to house all of their stuff because everything's going to be shipped.
So crazy.
So we're seeing this happen now.
Yeah.
These cloud kitchens. And then Steve Aoki, the DJ, he has a pizza joint that is not a cloud kitchen, but it's his own little place that's only delivery. But it's just so much more efficient.
That's what people want now.
So what a change. And then now the quarantine has sped up
10 years.
10 years, because how schooling's going to be and the cost of schooling and can you do it online? And I just think it's just weird. I think if anybody, even for us, think about how it took us time to get used to doing the podcast and how we've evolved.
Yeah.
Imagine someone who's never done podcasting and they're going to start podcasting. They're going to be like, oh, this is so weird. It's like, well, yeah, you haven't done it. If you start teaching on Zoom, there will be ways to figure it out.
Of course. Everything's situational. And we've all been thrown into this head first. And we're all seeing, oh, hey, I can save some time by ordering my groceries online. Oh, hey, we can homeschool kids through Zoom. You know, I know a lot of families and parents are, you know, ready for that part to go back to normal. But, you know, if there's a will, there's a way. And I think people are getting creative with everything with technology. And we're really lucky that we do have it at our fingertips to be able to do so. And it's interesting if you think long term and into the future, like these cloud kitchens, so many businesses are going to save so much money.
Yep.
But everything's going to look very different. Real estate, for instance, is going to change drastically commercially.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, remember that place in New Jersey we went to where it was like a mall with a bunch of restaurants and then above were office space, but it was communal like WeWork?
Oh, yeah.
So it's more, people are going places for the experience again.
That's
so
right.
Even with Mio, he was saying, I feel eventually, you know, everything's going to be like a Chipotle, where you kind of just go in and you just order your food, and people are going to go to a sit-down restaurant as an experience. Going to the movies will be an experience because, you know, I mean, I'm not going to go to the movies. You know, even someone DM'd me about a new drive-in, and I think that's cool. But remember we talked about it. If you go to a drive-in movie, there's cars everywhere. You know, what if you have to go to the bathroom?
You're such a wet blanket. Even before quarantine and all of that, you didn't love going to the movies. That's something I've always really enjoyed. You go, you get to pick out your snacks, you get a nice little soda, a little popcorn, a little chocolate, whatever that might be. You go in, you watch your movie on the big screen, but you really like comfort. You like to know more than anything.
Comfort and convenience.
Over everything for you. So yeah, I could see why maybe you wouldn't love a drive-in movie theater. I think that'd be cool. The whole bathroom sitch would stress me out though.
I get it for the experience.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so happy when we feel confident and good about getting dressed up and going to a nice restaurant. Going to a movie or drive-in, rarely. As an experience.
Yeah.
I look at going to the movie or out to a restaurant, especially now and in the future, as we would go to a Laker game. Or you would go see Drake. You're just, let's go to this concert. It's, you know, where it's not, oh, I'm going to go to a restaurant 3 times a week and then every Friday and Saturday I go to a movie. Like, that's, to me, feels over.
Right.
Especially now they're doing the home movies. What just came out? There's something I wanted to watch that just came out. Oh.
Will Ferrell's movie?
Not Will Ferrell. Steve Carell that Jon Stewart wrote and directed.
Did it look good?
It does, but I don't know. But anyway, you buy it, and it's just
quickly.
It's right there.
Well, it's so interesting because when we were cleaning today, I threw on this like early 2000s hip hop mix on Pandora, and all of these songs they were like bringing me back. And the coolest thing about music is you always can listen to it and instantly be brought back to a very specific memory, place, and time, how you felt, what it smelled like, all of it. And it really got me to thinking, the more I was having these memories, when we lived in that time, we truly were living for the experience. Like you said, even going to a Blockbuster, because we weren't so taken by our phones, by technology, by what's this person doing, what's happening here, needing that stimulation. You literally had your friends, you were in the moment. Like if you went out to a movie and dinner when we were 13, you were there for the experience. And I feel like kids these days will never experience what we did, because I'm sure kids now go to parties and they're all on their phones. Ooh, let's take a photo. Ooh, let's do this. Like we truly, it was about the experience, the people we were with, and we built such deep and meaningful relationships that I know for me and I know for you, we have really excellent friends from when we were younger, so close, because you really built that foundation. And I'm curious now with technology, I'm curious how early on that comes into play with kids. Like when do kids get phones? Are they right away just caring more about that? Are relationships truly being built?
From 5 to 12 probably.
Right?
Well, then the other question becomes, because when you get to be an adult, or even out here meeting friends, you have to kind of wonder too, at what point are people meeting you and becoming friends with you because you both just enjoy each other's company?
Right.
Or is it, well, what does this person do for a living? What can this person offer me? What's the network capability?
Yeah.
And I'm curious if 12, 13, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, if you were stereotypically the quarterback of the football team, you were kind of the popular kid in 2000, you would be as if you had 400,000 TikTok followers. You were kind of the popular quarterback and the prom king, and everyone knew who you were, and people wanted to be and sit at the table and all that. I would guess that people are like that in school, where the girl who now has 2.1 million TikTok followers, they're right.
Because they're TikTok famous, and everyone in school is like, well, how can we be her friend? Or
so it's all the same. Do you see how it's all the same?
Of course.
Every human, the way we all react is the same, but we're giving so much value to the online world.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how I feel about it, because I'm not the type, I understand it's never going to go back to the old. It's just fun to kind of reminisce about those moments and try to like share it with kids. And you try to, I can only imagine with the parents who are like phones away for dinner. Those are moments that you can create that are more meaningful. Yeah. But I find it, I don't think people are bored these days. I think they're overstimulated. But you're constantly plugged in. And I just want to figure out a way to use this superpower of technology and communication to make things better.
Yeah.
And not melt kids' brains, not create depression. Yeah. Not be distracted, not be antisocial. But there's so many good components of it that I love.
Of course.
And I champion it.
I feel, too, we're pretty good and healthy with the sense of not just sitting on our phones and consuming all day long. Like, I feel like we like to see what's going on, as everyone does.
Yeah.
But I always know, I'm like, okay, it's time to put the phone away. Get to whatever you're going to do. Or because if you just sit and nonstop scroll, I mean, that's... what kind of life is that?
You get sucked in.
I know, the vortex. Ah!
Yeah, if you keep yourself busy, you'll be good. But I like to use it as a tool. I like to use it to connect. Everything with our podcast, everything that we've been doing was impossible 15 years ago.
Yeah. I'm super grateful to live in this time.
And we're going to be mobile. And I feel there's a big shift coming. I've been reading articles on this as well of, because corporations are letting people work from home now moving forward, people are going, well, why am I going to spend $3,500 on an apartment or $4,200 in San Francisco when I can move an hour out of the city, buy myself a 4-bedroom home with a yard, and just work from home? Maybe once a week have to go drive 2 hours because you have to go to some big meeting. But imagine just once a week, how great that would be. But I think people are going to start moving. Austin, Texas is going to explode with a population boom. Austin, a lot of people from California are going to move to Austin.
Austin's great.
I would look in Texas if your parents aren't moved to Florida yet.
Florida for the win. All day.
I know.
I need my Florida in my life.
Well,
I'm
Texas,
a Florida baby. I love it there.
I do too.
I do
Texas
love
is
Texas.
interesting.
Texas is great, and there's so much, that's going to be up and coming there. Because I went to Austin, 10 years ago? 11 years ago? It was so cool then. And I know
I've never been.
It's a really cool spot.
It just kind of seems like it would be it's big city. It's going to become a big city, just like all these other places. But it's also when you look at what we're moving to certain places for, well, what are you going to do as well? This isn't, yet again, 2000, and we're not 19 or 21 where we want to be walking distance to the bars and we want to be, going to, you and I think having more space to have like another studio, like there's a lot of other projects we want to work on. I want to have a room in a house so that we can basically just work and live right there, but have a backyard so that you can have some freedom outside and just have it be quiet, but then be close so that you can hop on an airplane, or be close so you can go 15, 20 minutes into the city because we want to dress up and go to dinner and then go to a movie.
Right.
But I don't need to be in the hustle and bustle. We've been doing this for 15 years.
I believe, though, even in the entertainment industry, everything is going to be changing. I don't think you're going to have to be in LA. We're even seeing with all these auditions that are self-tapes. Even look at what happened with Atlanta, like that's up and coming for entertainment. Even Miami always has been. There's obviously New York, but I don't know. I just think they're really going to do things virtually. And back in the day, you had to be here or you couldn't pursue anything. You had to be in LA.
Well, how would you audition?
Yeah.
Put it on a VHS and mail it in? It just wouldn't work. And, you know, if you think about getting an audition, getting dressed from the head to toe, not just from the waist up.
Yeah, true.
And you have to go drive, sit in traffic, pay for parking, walk in, sit in the waiting room. They're a little behind, so now you're there longer. You walk in, and when you walk in, you have to do the, oh, hi, how are you? It's good to see you. Hot one out there today, right? I don't know why I have a beanie on. It's summer. I know. Let me move over here. All right, I'm going to move over here. So I just slate my name, and you end up being in there for 10 minutes.
Yeah. For
them to get a tape that then they have to edit to then show to the producers who are going to make the call on who they want to see again. Where now, you just don't do any of that. You give someone an email saying, we need this for the slate, we need your height, weight, where you're located, which they did.
Yep.
And then I edit it together, and they just sit and go, he's good, but not the look.
Yeah, it's that quick.
Why would you ever have to go in unless you're going to do a chemistry read where they want to do a series and they need to see if the people are in love or how they look on camera? But if you're down to the final 5, I'll fly out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come in for 1 out of 1,000 where they go, yeah, I mean, no. Like, well, then why'd I come here? We got a good picture. Yeah, but I just spent 3.5 hours.
Even when we casted Hiker, we did the bad guy, we did it all through self-tapes. And we watched a bunch, but we knew instantly in 1 second if the person was what we were looking for. Just because as writers, we were like, this is what we want. And we knew in 5 seconds. So I don't care how amazing they are, how wonderful their self-tape was, we knew. We
cast him in probably 20 minutes.
Uh-huh. It was between him and one other individual we loved.
Remember how we had our videographer, Brian?
Oh, through Craigslist.
Yep, we had 90 emails, and we could tell based on the personality in the emails, people that we didn't even look at their stuff because of, A, it was a lazy copy and paste that they were just trying to find a job. We didn't want any of those people. Those who were just had this weird energy, we instantly picked out without even looking at their talent first. We go, these 7 have great personalities through their email. Now let's see if those 7 are talented.
Yep.
Then we looked at their stuff, and then we got it down to Brian and one other guy.
Yep.
And we actually didn't even call Brian first.
Oh, we didn't.
We called.
We didn't.
No, he was our second, not our second pick, but this other guy had a specific editing thing that we wanted for Instagram story. And we reached out to him, and he goes, I'm busy that weekend, so I can't do that. And we called Brian. He goes, yeah, I'll be there. He did that one video for us, and then we worked together for 2 whole years, and he shot so many videos for us.
So
he made thousands of dollars, and that guy who wasn't available for those 3 days. But isn't that funny how it works?
But then we met Brian, and he is so
talented, amazing,
and wonderful.
But imagine if we sat and met. Hi, how are you? You would know as soon as they sit down. We're like, this person's energy is so bad, and then you don't want to be rude, so you have to waste your time. But all of this is the same thing. Am I talking, like, doesn't it all make sense?
Of course.
From everything we just said, it's all the same. Of how do we just take out the fat, and just get right to the point.
It's always been like that, though, and now I feel with self-tapes or with emails, whatever it might be for jobs, you're going to know instantly. You're just freeing up so much more time, because I remember early 20s, I went for a job interview for an executive assistant for the travel agent, and my first interview was sit down at Jerry's Deli, and I met with her current assistant who was leaving, and we really hit it off, and I was like, oh, this is so great. I leave, and probably a couple hours later, she's like, we really loved you. I wanted to see if you'd come to her office tomorrow. I want to start training you, but I also have a couple other people as well that we're going to train and just see how you do. You're going to meet her. And so I went that day, and I was the first one to go. And I hit it off with the boss. I hit it off with the assistant. Everything she was showing me, it really worked. It was a great fit. And the old assistant went to the boss, and they were talking after I was there, and she came back out and she's like, we talked and we decided we love you. We're going to hire you. We're canceling everyone else. And so it's just one of those things. You just know when it's right. When it's going to fit. And that's what's happening now with Brian. We knew. Mm-hmm. We saw the email. We go, this is great. But think about instead if we had to go and sit down with all of those people that we liked, 7 different people, each meeting 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're going to train a couple, times are changing. So now we really are able to free up our time and, have more time to do what we got to do.
And I'm trying to, and now that we're just talking about this, it's kind of like, well, what's the whole point of, like, and I think for us, I love having more time to spend on doing the things that I love to do.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of kids who are up and coming, and for a lot of adults, I think the idea of Juliana,
mm-hmm. My niece,
your niece, being
our niece,
yeah, when she's 18 years old, and 18 years from now, 17 years from now, I highly doubt that she will go to college for 4 years at a university, get a job, and be there for 45 years. I just don't think that it's going to exist anymore.
Yeah.
And that's going to be weird because there's a system built into place, like how my parents did it perfectly,
right,
with retirement, and like they're good, like the true American dream, like nailed it during that time.
Yeah.
But we're going through this weird transition where I think people are going to have a new career every 5 to 10 to 15 years because we think things are changing fast now.
Yeah.
By the time Juliana's 20, things are going to be moving so fast. And I think it all just boils back to finding what you want to do, what you love to do, and working on yourself.
Yeah.
I still think it's crazy to me that we're asking a 17-year-old, what do they want to do, when they don't know who they are yet.
Amen.
They haven't even fell in love. They haven't even, how do you know what you want to do?
You don't even know yourself.
This podcasting, to me, is one of the, if not even greater than when I first started acting, of how it felt like it was meant to, like I was supposed to do this.
Yeah.
Wasn't even a thing when I was growing up. Never thought of it. And even when we started 2 years ago, I was like, I get it, but I didn't understand. I fell in love, and I go, wow.
Yeah.
To make a career out of this that helps every other thing. It's the nucleus that helps acting, that helps booking other jobs, that helps getting TV shows made and everything. It kind of is the nucleus.
Yep.
And it wasn't even a thing.
Isn't that wild, though?
But to think if I would have been forced into something that I was like, I don't know, let me just try to go do something. I think it's important for everyone just to be adventurous, be smart, make money, enough to explore, to find what you really want to spend your time doing, because now that time's becoming valuable, you want to enjoy the process of doing it.
Yep.
Not the process of getting to somewhere, the process of doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what I wish for the younger generation is how do we get them to be excited about learning about personal development, that having that self-confidence, not being molded by their group, mm-hmm. but finding at a young age, before you have a career, money and influence, and a family, like how do you teach a 17-year-old that even if your 6 best friends are doing something, and I was like that, where I was like, I'm going to go, I just want to be part of the group because that's all I had. How do you teach a kid at 17 to make their own decisions and go on their own path without...
But that's why life experience is the most imperative thing in the world. And I've always thought, especially for people who, want to go to college, I always thought it would be so great if after high school they could just take, a couple years to figure, I mean, you can, but it wasn't the traditional thing, but to really live and figure out, hey, do I like this? Let me try interning here. Let me try shadowing this person in this industry. Ooh, let me maybe, get a job at this, and just test it out, because how are you supposed to know what you want to do for the rest of your life? You're picking a major and you're 18. I mean, maybe some people must know, or you kind of figure it out in college, but you're also, spending a lot of money to be there to do this. So I just always thought, because even with us, once we hit our mid-20s, we really became very interested in learning about personal development, in, finance, everything. They're just so, like, even blogging and podcasting and all of that came later. And so we would sit, and thank goodness we have the internet now. We have YouTube. There are online courses at your fingertips, free, some aren't, but you can learn literally right now. I can go online and go, okay, I need to learn this about how to upload an audio file. And it's right there in front of me.
Yeah.
We didn't have that back in the day. And I just think, the more that things are at our fingertips, the easier it is to find something that you love and then go after that.
And I think, when our parents were young, getting married at 21, having kids at 21, and people's life expectancy was lower too.
Yeah.
As we're living longer and people are having kids later, your 20s can really be like, I'm ready to build my life in the 30s. I felt the 20s, we were adventurous, we were experimenting, we tried so many things, we lived, we partied, we did all this. We have the most interesting 20s in like, it's crazy. But now in the 30s, it's really, I found who I am and what I want to keep focusing on. And, everything that we've done, the most important thing is the knowledge that you have in your head.
Yeah.
How do you communicate? How do you listen? How do you empathize? How do you take the high road? How do you manage your ego? How do you stay humble? How do you communicate and learn? And if someone's being erratic, how do you just go, I'm not going to take offense. They're in a mood or they're having a thing. Like, I'm just going to understand that and I'm not going to let my ego come into place. Like, all of this is trained from personal development of taking a breath. And after having money stolen from my business manager in 2015, for those of you who don't know that story, that was one hell of a 3-year period. But it taught me that money in general is just a really great tool. And money's awesome, and it gives you opportunity, and it allows for convenience and comfort, which I love. But the most important thing that she couldn't take was what I had in my head. You can't take the things I've read, the things I've learned, the experience that you can't take knowledge. Yep. And if you only are like a one-trick pony, and you happen to be riding the wave and things are good, and if that goes away due to automation or that goes away due to whatever, then people are kind of trapped.
Yeah.
I've always looked at it as I want multiple sources of income because I don't want to ever be just like one thing. But also, no matter what situation you put me in, because of what I have in here and what I know about myself, personal development-wise, you can drop me in any situation. And if I had to start from the bottom, all the skills I've obtained, but mostly how I feel about myself and how I know how to communicate with others and be empathetic is going to allow me to rise right back to the level where money will be there.
And I think that's why we've always been so fearless about pursuing different endeavors, because we continue to work on ourselves to gain and gather more and more knowledge, life experience. And no matter what happens, you can't take that away. We're like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. Because we know we've got what's up there to find a new path.
Yep.
We're confident in ourselves. It doesn't happen overnight. Takes a lot of work to, figure all of this out. It's still figuring life out. We will until the day we die. Yeah. Everyone does, but I think it's really important to acknowledge, hey, let me continue to be the best me every day. The only thing I can do every day is be better than I was yesterday. That's it. So every single day, you just got to wake up and be like, how can I just be a little bit better?
Yeah.
What can I do today? So...
Yeah, you have to. That's the biggest thing, and it's really also finding people that share these ideals and not being too molded or swayed by your group, because a lot of it comes down to the people that you hang around. They always say that analogy that if somebody smokes, probably everyone in the group smokes. It's kind of rubs off. So if you have a negative group, that negativity is going to rub. Yeah, it's going to rub off on you. So. Protect your circle, protect your mind, and especially in these days, you have to protect your mental battery.
Yeah.
You have to protect yourself, and we have all these opportunities at our fingertips, and even though there's just a bunch of crazy stuff going on, and there's always going to be a bunch of crazy stuff, and I hope that the world gets to be super peaceful and equal, and everyone can have a great life in the future, and we can work towards that. But at the end of the day, you got to go to bed and wake up tomorrow and go, all right, how can I be better today?
Yep.
Don't try to jump too far ahead.
No.
Just do a little bit better today.
Yep.
Just do a little bit better today.
How do you eat an elephant? One
You
bite
don't.
at a time. It's one bite at a time.
No, I know.
You can only just do a little bit every day. There's no quantum leap.
Yeah, I just want to figure out a way as we grow and we build to a wide audience, because I feel there'll be a time where we can be like cool to young kids. We don't have the 15 to 25 group really.
Yeah.
And that's like a passion of mine, that eventually being able to grow to a point where 15 to 25-year-olds I want to inspire them, because they're at a point that I never had anybody at that age that could have told me. Like, I just happened to pick up that book, The Slight Edge, and I go, wait a minute. I was like, there's books on how to live a better life?
Wow.
Whoa. I need to
Fancy that.
Yeah, and it's going to be my passion. I really think as we get older, how can we make personal development cool for a 16-year-old who we're trying to teach them about checking their ego when they're all pumping their chest up or trying to get the girl or buying the new car. People don't care when you're young. So it's like, how do you make it cool where kids will want to learn about money, where they're going to want to learn about how to be nice? Like, there should be no bullying in schools.
Yeah.
That should be the only goal in high school.
Yeah.
How do we create this community where everybody's respectful, friendly, nice? There's no bullying because everyone loves each other. If we can start there with 600 kids, then maybe those 600 will use that another place. We're trying to have 330 million people all get along. And we still have people not getting along in a small building that live in the same neighborhood where their parents all know each other.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff, but I also don't want to get up on a soapbox and preach and tell people how to live. I think that's becoming, especially these days with social media, there's just too many people telling people what to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm slowly, we were a little more coachy and mentory 5-6 years ago, where I feel like even though we did help a lot of people by being upfront and telling people like this is what needs to be done, I just kind of like making like how our actions are inspire people.
Absolutely.
Instead of telling someone what they need to do, live the life that you want to share with the world and inspire people without telling them through your actions, so they can look and go, I want to.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, because even in the current state of everything right now, there's a lot of people just telling people what to do.
I'm seeing that a lot on social.
Like, you need to go do this. You shouldn't do this. You should do this. And it's like, yo, just go do you.
Yeah.
And if your life inspires me to go follow you, I will follow you.
Yep.
But all the yelling is making people go, I don't want to follow anyone because you're both yelling. Yeah. Just go live an inspirational life and I will show up.
Yes.
The people who were like, you know what? Those protests are inspiring. I'm going to go. Your actions inspired others to do that.
That's how you gain influence in anything.
You have to live, yeah. So you allow people to look around in this vast social media world. Instead of yelling and telling people what to do, live an inspirational life so that people can look around and go, I want to be like that. Yeah. And they'll choose inside. They'll make the decision. Yep. It's like telling people to quit smoking. You can put I smoked for 3 years.
I know, we did when
people
we were
didn't,
younger.
Yeah, 21 to 24 years old. I smoked a pack of Marlboro Reds a day.
Crazy kids.
And even though you knew how bad they were, you knew all that stuff, you still did it. I had to make the change inside for that to all stick. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how many people told you that's bad, that's bad. They put pictures of things on the box. Still didn't did it. I had to fall in love with a healthier lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So along the way, I was inspired to change my life's habits. But the telling me that's going to kill you doesn't work. Shaming me didn't work. Didn't work.
Yeah. Well, that's why even too, when we were chatting with Eric the other day, which you guys will probably see next week, he was mentioning about his kids and masks and how he was able to share and kind of like lead by example, of why they should wear it, because the superheroes or whatever analogy he used, but it was the same exact thing. He did it in a cool way, showing like, hey kids, like wear your masks because look, you like these guys, you love these superheroes. they're tough, they're macho, but
Yeah.
they wear their helmets. They got to keep others safe, keep themselves safe. Like, it was just a really smart, cool way. And I think you got to just find what's going to resonate with kids, teenagers, what's going to make them care. You got to get creative with it. And everything in our life that stuck with us hit our heart.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know enough. I'm not around teenagers enough to know.
Oh, I can't imagine.
I just think of myself, and I did not care about anything that was being taught to me. I just go, when's the test? What do I need to know? And I'll memorize it.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to learn about the 3 branches of government. So when you have the United States government, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm out.
But now you care.
Now I care.
Isn't that crazy?
Now I care so much.
I know.
I want to know how things work.
Yeah.
I want to know the history. I want to know what each president, like what, I want to know.
You're my little sponge.
Oh, I get so hooked. I
Love
love
to
learning
suck it all
everything.
in.
But yeah, I didn't learn, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was becoming a man. I was interested in
course.
dating. I was interested in
course.
getting my license. I was interested in graduating. I was interested in going to play basketball and go to the beach and play. I didn't care about space.
I always love space.
Unless I was just that kind of kid. I mean, some people, maybe they did care. I just didn't.
I mean, I had different subjects I got so excited to go to, and others that were not my cup of tea. But
I had 0.
oh man, I wonder in high school if we would have been friends. Like, we probably would have been cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
Everyone was cool in our school.
Yeah.
There was 150 kids in my graduating class.
Wow. I had almost 1,000 in a big school.
In your class or in your grade?
Class. Or, yeah, my class, in my grade.
So you had 4 grades, so there was 4,000 kids at your whole school?
No, in my graduating class, 2006, there were 1,000 kids who graduated that year. So my senior year.
So there was 1,000 seniors, 1,000 juniors, 1,000... So
I
I'm just
don't
probably
know
saying
about-
there's probably 4,000
you're just
kids in the school.
assuming.
Because ours was... I think Edgewood had 600 in the whole school. So from 9 to 12 was 600
Wow.
kids. So if you think about when there was a party, there'd be 60 kids at the party. That was all the juniors and seniors that got. We were all. Everyone was friends.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, there were
We had a lot of
big
us.
parties. There were a lot of people there, though. Obviously, I mean,
Yeah.
not 1,000. There were different groups of friends.
Maybe we didn't have much diversity in that sense because it was such a small group. Everyone was just, hey, you coming to the party? And then you played sports and stuff. But it was a smaller group.
So interesting.
I think we would have been. Yeah, it would have been cool. I never had. It was never like weird. Like our school was
Yeah.
just chill.
Yeah.
A couple fights every now and then, but.
Anytime there were fights that we would know of in high school, they'd be like, yeah, everyone, people are going to walk over to this is more middle school actually, but they're like, we're going to walk over to Caruso's, this pizza joint, and so-and-so's going to fight. And I literally would go the opposite way. I'm like, nope, not interested. But everyone would walk over from the middle school to this pizza place. They were going to fight. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Over what? What is so important at that age that you're going to fight? And there would be a couple, like, hair tugs or whatever. It was not a
That's just
serious
what it
thing.
is. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot.
Adolescence, right?
It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to, but it just makes sense to me, like a greater purpose moving forward. And I think the podcast is a great place to start because you can get a lot of ideas out. And, as we continue to grow and build, your voice is going to reach more people. And, because the community too, and for all of you, thank you. We look through the comments and the text messages, and it is so
best.
deep. It's so meaningful. You can see the relationships that we're building with all of you, and it makes us, just warms our heart.
It means so much.
Because a lot of other, if you look on something like a Twitter where I don't frequent, or just random people on Instagram, you can feel the difference between someone who's been on the journey and who's gotten to know us, and that we've added some sort of value, whether it's one of our 3, the entertainment, inspiration, or education. And we're attracting the the same group of people.
Yep.
Because people who don't like our vibe is going to tune in and out.
Yeah.
But the people who are sticking around are like, hey, this makes sense to me.
Yep.
So that's how we're doing our part in general. And we've been doing it for 6 years, ever since we got into personal development, is how do you attract people who want to be positive, who want to take responsibility, who want to move forward in life, who want to be happy, and just practice that every day.
Yep. Love it. I think on that note, we should wrap up because that was a great little ending, baby.
I'm also hungry.
I'm so hungry. I was literally just thinking, which pizza can we throw in the oven tonight?
I know. That's
Maybe
going to be good.
margarita. By the way, Amy's pizza is so delicious. If you're looking for a nice little freezer pizza to throw in the oven.
Well, it's smaller, and usually they're around 900, 950. So when we split it, it's less than 500 calories a piece. We just split it.
It's so good, though.
And I'll have it with the salad. But I love that it's kind of late because I haven't had many calories today, so now I can binge for the next 3 hours and eat my face off.
We've been podcasting for what, like an hour?
Yeah.
It's been a minute since it's been just us.
Well, I kind of like just hopping in sometimes when we don't know what we're going to talk about, and then it just goes in whatever direction it goes in. And I this was one of those podcasts I forgot for like 30 minutes that we were podcasting.
I know, same.
I was like, oh yeah.
There are bright lights everywhere. I hope they looked good. We'll find out very soon.
I think it's going to. But if you've made it this far, hey, thank you so much, and let us know too what you think about some of the topics.
Absolutely.
You know, when it comes to automation, when it comes to working from home, if you like that or don't like that, or technology, and I'm just very fascinated in education.
Yeah. We both really have been and passionate about it.
I discovered it. I'm a true story of a kid that just had a good memory. So I ended with a 3.7 GPA, but didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And just got good grades because my parents told me to, and didn't care about reading, didn't care about anything. I played sports, hung out with friends, and made money. That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
And then at 25 years old, I go, wait a second, and became obsessed with education. So it's not like I was this, 8-year-old spelling bee champion who's always been about education, which, to think about, you can tell some of the people who have. There are people who are like 25 that you can see have been an academic their whole life, and they're leaps and bounds ahead of someone like myself who started at 25. But it shows that it can happen no matter what age you're at.
Sure. Yeah.
Some
people it can happen at 65.
Yeah, where you pick up your first book and How to Win Friends and Influence People.
It's a great one.
The Slight Edge and The Obstacle's the Way, Ryan Holiday. There's a lot of good books. So many good books.
We should maybe do a podcast one day about some of our favorite reads and kind of explore them a little bit.
Our own, The Pivot Principle.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about it. Okay, we got to go eat.
All right, we have to eat. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time.